Hi, it's Rabbi Bob Alper, speaking to you from the beautiful state of Vermont, where we're starting to see the leaves changing. Right now it's pretty green, but we have the most beautiful foliage in the world here, and it'll happen next month. As you know, I'm rabbi, stand-up comic, author. My website is www.bobalper, BOBALPER.com. You can see some video of me performing and of me performing with my comedy colleagues, Reverend Susan Sparks and Muslim comic Gibran Salim. You can also see my performance schedule, the books I've written, et cetera, et cetera. Good stuff on there. Today, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a comedy routine, a brief one. When a comedian performs, we try and make it look like we were just standing on the stage and suddenly thinking up stuff to tell you that makes you laugh. It's not the way it happens. Comedy, a good comedian, what you see is the result of a long, long process of writing, editing, and editing, and performing, trying things out, trying it over and over and over again. And from that comes maybe a 12-second bit. And you put all those bits together, it's called a routine. So when you see a comedian at like amateur night and they get up there and they say, gee, I haven't prepared anything, and they're serious about it, then you know that they're not going to make it in comedy. So coming up, I'm going to be doing a brief set, a 5-minute set at a New York comedy club. And I want to rehearse it. So you're going to hear it and there'll be no laugh track. There's no one laughing at it. That's another hard part, rehearsing without any laughter, but we can imagine. And I've done all these jokes before, so I know they work. But it's a question of getting my timing together and putting certain elements together to see if it sounds like a coherent piece. Anyway, hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can imagine 150 people laughing at every single joke that I give. And after I do this, I may look at it and say, yeah, I'm going to take that one out and put another one in. Anyway, here's the way it starts. Delighted to be here at the club. My dual career, everything came together in one moment when I was changing planes in Philadelphia on the way to a gig in LA. A woman walked over to me, did a double take. She said, "You're Rabbi Alper, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You probably don't remember me." And I didn't. She said, "But I was a kid in your congregation here in Philadelphia during the 80s. And I used to watch the way you would teach and lead services and counsel and preach. And so I decided to become a rabbi anyway." So I'm 78. I may be the oldest person ever to perform on this hallowed stage, this legend, or certainly among the oldest comedians ever to perform. And it's not so bad being 78. I mean, my hero is Harrison Ford. He's 81. He's making another movie. It's going to be called Indiana Jones and the Enlarged Prostate. They're going to test market that title. If that doesn't work, it doesn't resonate with the test audience. The backup title is Indiana Jones and the Reverse Mortgage. And then many of you might remember a movie years ago with Harrison Ford, The Fugitive. They're going to make a new episode. And in this one, Dr. Richard Kimball flees assisted living. Been married for 54 years. Back in 1969, when we got married, my wife didn't have the choices women have today. Today, women can take their husband's names, they can keep their maiden names, they can hyphenate. Back then, my wife did the traditional thing. She took my name. Her name used to be Sherry Zink, and now it's Bob Zink. And she's a psychotherapist, and she tells me things that other therapists shared at conferences. One woman was talking about working with a couple around the issue of communication in their marriage. And at a certain point, she said to the wife, "Well, let me ask you, for example, how do you express when you want to make love?" And the wife said, "Well, I say, sweetheart, I'm going upstairs now. I'm going to take a long hot shower." Her husband said, "That's what you've been telling me? All these years, I thought you meant I shouldn't run the dishwasher." Our lives are totally in sync. I mean, for example, the same time I got hearing aids, she stopped mumbling. We have two children. We have an adorable 51-year-old, a cute as a button 47-year-old, both still in the gifted program. And we have little kids in our family. My nephew has 10-year-old twins. He's always saying to them, remember, one of you was unplanned. And my niece has a 4-year-old grandson. We were having dinner at a restaurant. He had to go to the bathroom, so I took him. He went into the stall. I was out there by the sink waiting. And apparently they had one of those electric toilets with the blinking red light. Because at a certain point I heard him say, "You know, Uncle Bob, these things take your picture." As part of my training to become a rabbi, I went to Israel for a year. I had a lot of biblical Hebrew under my belt, but trying to learn spoken Hebrew, and it was difficult during the first week. For example, I needed to call our landlord and explain to him that we were receiving bills for the previous tenant. I wanted to say, "Anachnu mekablim cheshbonot." We receive bills. He said, "Ma, what?" I said it again. He said, "Mazeh, what's that?" And I realized instead of saying "Anachnu mekablim," we receive, I'm saying "Anachnu mechablim," which means we are terrorists. I had to make a phone call back then. This is, when we had payphones, public payphones, and you used to have to use tokens. So I dialed the number, Jerusalem to Tel Aviv calling, and a voice came on and said, "Please deposit 8 tokens." I said, "Gee, I only have 7." The voice said, "All right, I take 7." One of my dearest connections with Israel is the Israel Guide Dog Center. I've been involved with them since before they were even founded. And it turns out if you contribute a certain amount of money, you can name one of the puppies. So we did that, and I went to Israel. I saw the litter; they were just adorable. There was Mikey, Dennis, Lulu, and Penny, and Rabbi Dr. Robert A. Alper. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the routine, and I hope when I do deliver the material that people will laugh.